By spreading its sails and taking the journey to a creative and interesting setting, Pillars of Eternity 2 Deadfire finds fertile ground for nuanced role-playing stories. The main storyline is its biggest weakness, but Deadfire comes into its own by drawing you into the surrounding saga of its embattled islands and the distinct peoples fighting over them. This island chain offers no shortage of fantastic tactical battles, fascinating allies, and exotic places to explore. The Watcher makes a return from his or her triumphs or failures in the original Pillars of Eternity, and decisions can be carried over via imported save file or running through a text-based decision system to simulate a playthrough. The consequences of certain major decisions are very acutely felt during this 40-hour campaign. You find the region of Deadfire in a state of upheaval, with several complex and ambitious factions seeking to steer its destiny. Before long, the leaders pitch their endgame and seek your allegiance, and the resulting quests are leagues better than an underwhelming central story that takes far too long to present meaningful stakes. They always go out of their way to deny any moral certainty. No matter who you side with, some people will get hurt, so the decisions always carry great weight. The archipelago itself is the best character. Deadfire sheds its predecessor's classic sword and sorcery style by swapping castles and forests for swashbuckling adventure on the high seas. Thanks to its many unique cultures, each with their own distinctive style and values, it's a diverse and interesting place that feels like a completely different world from the original. At the same time, the naval battle system is so bare bones and basic that it's not particularly fun, and the expensive upgrades for the boat barely make a noticeable difference when it comes to avoiding those fights. Obsidian's writer's talent for characters is on full display once again as Deadfire debuts a handful of new party members and carries over a few from the original. All are extremely well written and developed with complex and often conflicting motivations for tagging along. They aren't going to agree with every decision you make or with each other. If tensions between party members rise high enough, fights can break out between companions, full-on arguments with them or me undertones. Juggling the personality clashes that arise between companions never gets too tough, but these conflicts create pressure to manage your party members' relationships with each other, not just with your character. It creates the impression that you're actually the leader of this motley bunch, not because the story simply dictated it, but because you have to participate in the work of keeping a group together. It's rewarding to see your influence bleed over into relationships with companions in conversations and significant story moments, and then see the resulting changes in their worldviews and personalities play out with each other. Obsidian's writers seem on the verge of something truly special with these characters. Some of the best moments of character development can be poorly timed though. Too often, a conversation that's central to a particular companion's story will begin at the worst and most awkward possible time. It breaks immersion to have a companion confess their growing affection for your character in the midst of a dangerous Eldritch dungeon, or to start a heated debate about metaphysical ethics while they are knocking on death's door.
But anybody got that much faith in any god, let alone Aethys? I don't know how to talk to someone like that.
Deadfire's pausable real-time combat is its most fun, challenging, and energetic element. Enemy parties and the opponents themselves present almost a puzzle of sorts, a maze of resistances, proficiencies, and damage types that you and your party must navigate in order to effectively counter them. A key tool in doing so is the single best quality of life fix that Deadfire introduces to the established Pillars formula: the extensive AI scripting allowed for each character. It's reminiscent of the system from Dragon Age Origins in that you can set up a complex list of AI priorities so characters respond the way you want them to when a given situation arises in a fight. Though the scripting does have some notable limitations, it adds a new layer of depth to an already smoother, better balanced, and better animated combat system. With the notable exception of the main story, Pillars of Eternity 2, Deadfire improves upon the Pillars of Eternity formula in nearly every way, creating an RPG loaded with both strong combat and important, character-defining choices that frequently have an impact on your numerous and deep side story adventures. A refreshingly different island setting makes it feel dramatically distinct, though travel can be laborious because of unavoidable nautical encounters. From a long list of quality of life upgrades to a new and impressive attention on companions and their relationships to an astonishing commitment to immersive storytelling and role-playing, this sequel takes a strong step forward past its predecessor and presents exciting possibilities for the genre going forward. For more on Pillars of Eternity, check out the opening minutes of Deadfire gameplay, plus our original Pillars of Eternity review. And for everything else, stick with us here at IGN.